Hello, peeps, and hello, peppers, and welcome to Film Friday. Hello, stranger. It's great to have you here. On Fridays, I always try to retell a film with the Phantom Wise Tarot that I also call the Old Film Tarot, and another deck whichever I find like fitting towards the theme of the film. Today I shall also have the experiment to have Desi the Desmostillion or the sea monster turn the cards around because I want to make a stand-up comedy with Desi, and I'm trying to figure out if tarot cards could be a part of this. And since it's Women's Protest Day in Iceland, I decided to choose a film by a woman, about women. And we all know that rock and roll was created in a form of protest, in the wider sense, against societal norms. And so I decided to tell you that I saw the Runaways, even when it's already 15 years old, at the film festival in the spring for the first time. And the director, Floria Sigismundi, was present and answered questions. And that was so cool. And I also kind of find her name cool because at the Autumn Film Festival, that is bigger, was a film about a lady named Floria. I actually didn't know that this was a common name, and this Floria at this film festival worked as a nurse, and the film portrayed a late shift where Floria was essentially alone with 50 partly dying patients. And yeah, there were a lot of problems, but also joys. So okay, that was a tangent. But I decided that was important now for the Women's Protest Day because many jobs connected to care and therefore also really hard physical and emotional work are performed by women, and many women only harvest like aggression for doing all they can. So yes, let's let that be our light to think things. And like the other Floria, the movie director, said that the 70s, and especially the music scene, if I understood that right, were not kind to women. So here is my try to recall this women's film that was very drastic. Okay, the sea monster is already burrowing at the bottom of the sea. The 7 of Earth coming out in reverse, and these are like deer, herd animals, branches of a tree, like the horns. Of course, the horns are a symbol of the male deer, but like in my Inktober contribution, I also used the tree as a symbol of the old system that partly needs to be shaken, that has organically grown, but also has often been formed to fit into something commercial. Actually, this face of the camel here fits to those deer. I first thought this was an extra card, but here's to my memory gaps. I obviously don't remember my own bed cover. Through the camera, at least not. So some things are not as they seem, and the film Runaways basically begins with Joan Jett, played by Kristen Stewart, trying to shape a rock band and to start a rock band. That is like really hard for girls, especially at this time. And then she meets this producer. I think his name is Kim. And when I Googled a little bit of the background right after watching the movie, I read a statement that Joan found this guy royally funny, but Cherie, who was the lead singer of the band in the end, she found him like really abusive, if I understood that properly. But also, if I understood that properly, she went on to take care of him when he was old. Like Cherie, she who didn't like him, and also whose interactions with him are not pictured as favorable in the movie. So yes, much of the movie is shaped by hierarchy in the herd, and like Kim trying to make the band appealing to rude, rough men in the nightclubs, especially by dressing Cherie in like a something that looks like really fancy underwear to me. Yeah, okay, this looks like, okay, pentacles is always something with richness. The number 8 is always something with movement. This kind of androgynous person is doctoring up a clock. Maybe we could incline to the aspect that maybe Kim saw that time is precious, because when I Googled the Runaways as a band, when the film just freshly came out in 2010, the lady singers actually said maybe it was good that we did that at that time, because Runaways are like 16 years old, and when we became much older than 18, okay, now I don't have the quote anymore, but it came down to the idea that like grown-up Runaways are not credible, and they couldn't be marketed as such anymore. So maybe the producer already saw that that this concept of a teenage band only works with within a very limited time window, within a very narrow circle, and with putting the girls on mental chains. Yes, if I were to start a band, I would probably go for a very, very different concept, because I want people to show their arts and their genuine selves. There is also a scene that I really liked in the movie where like Cherie is like in this long flowing hippie dress singing into a hairbrush that looks like a microphone, and this flowing nice song actually really suits her. And then she goes to this audition with all the people catering to rude rough men and beer, and can't I sing something else? No. So the hippie song didn't kind of fit the idea. And I mean, this looks like a servant giving the leftover bones to the dogs who are waiting like really attentively with ears upright. Yes, the music industry in the film is also pictured like, yeah, giving the people who don't comply the leftovers, and also like complying meant being photographed in really racy clothing and subscribing to statements that were not the girl's own. And the King of Pentacles, yes, it was, of course, pictured that the producer was the king, and the girls didn't have that much of a say, and they also like started drinking. And yeah, okay, this person also has a corset. That sort of looks like this underwear corset of Sherry's. Here we have the Three of Air. Air element is like usually this words, something fighting, something moving. Like, of course, the girls in the story went on tour to Japan, and there were actually like these rotary phones in the room and magazines, and like it was really the spirit of the time. And the director also told me that she had to get many of the props at vintage shops. And like this seems like a very personal island where the people left traces. Like there is I was kind of touched by the scene of the movie where let's say the Runaways disbanded. Okay, this sounds a little bit like a spoiler. Cherie has a twin sister, and the twin sister sometimes goes to the club, and then she tells Cherie, "The people ask me if I am you." So you made an impression on people. Here is the High Priestess. Maybe that's Joanne, because Joanne could actually fit into that culture and arrange herself with that culture. And like the film basically focuses on Cherie becoming an addict. I mean, like in the end, spoiler, she also has like a regular job, but like when she gets the chance to talk to Joan again, then she doesn't know what to say. Ah, the magician. Yes. Maybe the music producer considered himself the magician, and it was like an eternal cycle of having to look his idea of cool. And marketing skin rather than the singing. Actually, some band members have commented on the "Hello, ma'am, I'm your cherry bomb" video on YouTube. And I found that really interesting because, of course, some almost 50 years later, you have a different view on the things, and the people can still here express themselves on the views. So yeah, maybe the Empress card is pretty fitting, because maybe older women today have inner distance to what they did as teenagers. In Icelandic, we have this expression, something is margslungin, like many fringed when it's complicated. So, yes, I would say the situation was margslungin. Okay, this empress is pregnant, which from the context I gather, the girls were not. And this person also has, to a degree here, black features. Like the entire tarot is black and white, as you can see. And I must say, like the rocker girls were all white. That would be an interesting question for the future. Are there any like known rock bands by black people, and especially black women? Can you recommend me some in the comments? That would be really great. Have a great weekend and a great Women's Protest Day. Bye bye. Okay, phone is frozen.